Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Legs, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It helps to get the videos out there and it inspires me to keep creating. Once again, I want to give a huge thank you to every single person that comments, that leaves your opinions in the comments. Some of y'all have been real salty for some reason. I don't know why some of y'all are so upset and so mad in the comments about whatever. But let's just remember, this is a television show, okay? This is not real life. I do not know these people. You do not know these people, unless you do. And I don't know. Sometimes y'all do be having your friends and family up in my comments, I think. But in either event, it's a show. This is entertainment. So I just want to put that out again, and I want us to make sure that we are being respectful in the comments, because I am the judge of what is respectful or not, either me or YouTube's filters. I am the judge. If I feel like your comment is disrespectful, you will be deleted and blocked. Let's just remember that moving forward. Now, this was a great episode. I thought this was a very good post-Casa episode. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. So let's jump into Love Island season 7 episode 24. We had a lot. So Chelley, Sierra, and Alondria, they are talking post the recoupling.
And it's ticking already, but I deserve to be here and I deserve to find love. I don't know, it's just a lot right now. Still gotta try to navigate this thing to see how I wanna go.
And they're basically trying to get some insight on whether or not Alondria knew that Taylor was going to play Clark. Of course, Alondria had no idea, but the two girls are really just trying to motivate her, especially Sierra. I feel like Sierra is always very motivational to the girls, and she always tries to help them see and realize, hey, you can do better, you are better. I really like Sierra's personality. I think she's really mature, and I think that she has a very level head when it comes to talking about these things. For Alondria, she does say that she still deserves to find love, and I totally agree, but she doesn't really know who right now she will explore in the villa, and that is unfortunately the problem when you put all your eggs in a basket with somebody who is not on that same level. Unfortunately, Alondria doesn't really seemingly have a lot of connections in the villa, so we're gonna have to see how things go. She does admit that she and Nick explored and that they kissed, but quickly lets them know, once again, there was no spark on either side for either one of them. I don't think Sierra is worried about this at all. We see this little storyline throughout the episode of Irish trying to be like, that doesn't worry you? It doesn't worry you that Alondria kissed Nick, your best friend and your man were exploring? But let's be honest, the unspoken thing is that Sierra knows that Alondria is not Nick's type. And y'all could keep coming in the comments and calling me stupid and whatever. It is very clear that that is not his type. Maybe he fetishizes her. Maybe he thinks that she, her body is nice. Nick's type is not Alondria. Let's keep it 100. So that's why Sierra is not worried, because she knows it's fake. Anyway, let's keep on moving. So Taylor and Clark also have a conversation. For them, they are just happy that they chose each other. Taylor says that he could have played the easy route and stuck with Alondria, but instead he knew that even though they've been together for a few weeks, it just felt like something was missing. We know, Taylor, you literally let us know, the audience and the guys know so many times, that you were not physically attracted to her, and it is what it is. You should have just been honest with her. Now on to Ace and Chelley. They are making out. They both missed each other. Ace is laying it all real thick, letting her know that he really missed her. He wants to know a little bit about Chris and the whole situation, and Chelley is pretty honest in saying, look, I do want to explore. There was a little bit of a connection there. You guys are pretty similar. Ace gets very jealous. You could tell that Ace got a little jealous side, because he definitely gets a bit jealous whenever Chelley says, oh, you guys are similar. He says, no one's like me. No one's like me. Now, Chelley is reassuring Ace that she does really like him and that she feels like they have the strongest connection. But you know what? I don't fault Chelley for being open to another potential connection, because Ace took a long time to decide that he was settled on her. And I'm hoping that Chelley in her head still remembers that, and that's the reason why she's willing to still be open to the potential connection with Chris, even if Ace is the strongest connection. Ace had his little time to explore and do his thing before he decided to settle, so Chelley should be able to do the same thing, in my personal opinion. But they kiss it out, and they seem like they are on pretty decent terms for right now, though Ace definitely is apprehensive. Ace is definitely feeling the heat with that 6'7" man being in the villa that Chelley likes. So we see a short conversation with Amaya and Zach. They're just having banter about cats. It seems like they're getting along. Again, I have a lot of trouble reading the two of them. I do think they both have fairly high energy. So at least when they have conversations, it seems like they are kind of going off of one another. But I'm just not quite sure if I sense the romantic spark there yet. And to be honest, I'm gonna keep it real. I feel like Amaya, whoever she's paired with, she's all in. She's pouring a lot of herself. She really likes them. And I think that's fine, but sometimes I'm also like, Amaya girl, is this the person for you? Because I'm just not sure that I'm seeing it yet. But Sierra and Nick, they have a conversation.
Pulled Landry for a chat. Like, okay, should we see if like this could be romantic? And so then we kissed.
Sierra's like, what happened? I feel like, girls are all over you, so why did you have nobody on you in Casa? What was that all about? Nick explains that he was with Jaden, but he didn't feel the explosive fireworks with her. And I'm like, Nick, that's not how it happened. Let me not say he was with Jaden, but he had a connection with Jaden, but he just didn't feel those explosive fireworks. Let's be real, Nick, that is not what happened. Jaden didn't want you. You explicitly said multiple times that if you had the chance, you would recouple with Jaden, but Jaden rejected you for Austin. So let's not pretend like you took it upon yourself to decide not to be with Jaden. Anyways, they keep on going. So Nick then gets into the secret garden, the G-Wagon, and everything that happens. He talks about how he and Olandria had a chance to explore, but again, instantly when they kissed in Soul Ties, they did not feel anything there. And again, the unspoken thing is I think that Sierra doesn't care because she knows that that's not Nick's type. I'm just keeping it real with you. And I feel like for some reason y'all take it very personally when I say things like that, as if I'm saying Olandria is not beautiful, when I don't know. From day one, I have been saying that I think Olandria is a fucking baddie, excuse the cussing, because I don't know, y'all are starting to get my nerves on in these comments. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Y'all are starting to irritate me a lot. But I'm just like, I'm not saying Olandria is not beautiful. It's just very clear the direction that Nick goes. That's not me saying that a dark-skinned black woman cannot be liked by a white man. So one of y'all came in the comments today talking about well, you're average looking, so you wouldn't understand that. Girl, I'm married. I am married. I'm not on Love Island looking for a man. So I find it very weird that some of y'all go down these weird paths claiming that I'm saying Olandria is not attractive. No, I'm simply saying that's not her type. That's not his type. I don't know what y'all want me to tell y'all. I don't know what y'all want me to tell y'all. So Nick continues to say that he knew that Taylor was it for Olandria and that for him, he wants Sierra. So there was nothing there. He tries to pry a little bit into what happened with Ilan, and Sierra does say that although she and Ilan had great conversations, he would make her breakfast, the C-shaped pancakes. She gets a certain feeling with Nick that she didn't really get with Ilan. So for her, she knows that it's Nick that essentially she wants to be with. She's even been having thoughts of the outside, them just sitting on the couch together, them being together. So again, it just seems like Sierra is so in on Nick. It doesn't seem like there's any indicator that she plans to continue exploring Ilan. I think you could definitely tell Sierra is swaying that way. And for now, Nick is also swaying that way, but Nick is not trustworthy to me. So we're going to have to see where that continues to go. So Iris and TJ have a small conversation, and for Iris, she was talking about how the whole time she would talk to Zach C, all she could think about was him. For TJ, he's like, look, no one was really into me. I pulled Vanna for a chat, and we kind of had a spark, but as soon as we actually talked, I realized it wasn't it for me, which was very, very clear. He called her a baby. He was like, you're a baby. You're not. But like, to me, that is the biggest indicator that a guy doesn't see you in that way when you call someone a baby. But the two of them kiss it out and they are perfectly fine for now. So Andreina and Brian, I was a little shocked at this one. So Andreina is very happy that Brian is back in the villa. She's letting him know that. But as she's talking to him, she's like, I'm going to be honest. I kind of want to explore everybody else.
So yeah, but like I wanted to say that.
Of course, I want to talk to everybody too. Like what
Yeah.
It makes sense because right before Casa, she was with Jeremiah, and then they went right off to Casa basically after Jeremiah got out. So there was no real chance for Andreina to actually see who she wanted to potentially be with. So she starts talking about how Pepe is her type, and she really wants to try to get into something with Pepe or see where things could go. So she's essentially telling Ryan, like, hey, if you want to explore, I'm cool with that. I don't mind. And I was like, okay, Andrea, not you about to maybe steal Pepe. Is that going to be a little something, something? I want to see what's going to happen. So Huda and Chris are talking, and Huda's kind of asking about how Chris feels with having Chelley here, and they had something going on. Chris doesn't really feel very weird about it, but Huda's like, hey, look, if you still want to explore that, I completely don't mind. It's all cool. It's all good. So Chris does say, like, obviously, he's still interested in Chelley. It's not like what they had is just going to go away, but he's also interested to talk to Huda as well. So they get into a conversation about moving. She says that when her lease is up in North Carolina, she wants to move to LA, and she's already talked to her daughter's father about if one of them wants to move states. Chris says he wants to make it very clear that her having a child is not a deal breaker, nor does it matter. So the conversation seems fine. I don't know if it's Huda that's not really feeling him, or Huda's just checked out of the experience, but it definitely felt like she was kind of pushing, like, hey, if you want to explore that, no problem. I don't know, maybe Huda got someone else up her sleeve that she's interested in? Stay till the end of the episode. So Austin and Jaden, these two are just so happy to be together. They are in the speakeasy. And when I tell you these two quirk balls, they are just perfect for each other, you know? Hey, look, we might get to a world where the two of them are the only real couple on this show. I'm not even joking with y'all. No, I'm kidding. I think I'm kidding. But anyway, they are happy to be together. Austin says in his confessional that he is so happy to finally have a reason to want to wake up in this villa. He's so happy to finally have someone that he feels committed to getting to know. And he's just excited. His whole lease on life has been renewed. And again, Jaden is his type, and he's finally happy to be with someone who is his type. So congratulations to those two. So nighttime rolls around and Chelley is still a little bit torn. She does like Chris and she wants to explore with Chris, but she's really not sure how to navigate both of those connections, with Ace also being here. As we get to the beds, we got a lot of cuddling. We got a lot of stuff going on of note. Sierra and Nick F again. And I'm like, okay. Alrighty, but on to the morning time. So Nick decides he's gonna make Sierra breakfast, and he's cutting a pancake into a C, telling the other guys, well, I heard that Ilan did that, so, you know, she told me about it last night. I'm like, Nick's so pathetic. Be creative. Where is the creativity? You're just taking another man's idea and making it yours. So anyways, he brings the pancake up. Ilan also brings up a C-shaped pancake for Sierra, but she's full, so she doesn't eat it. And I'm like, okay. So all of the girls start to talk, and they debrief on all of their different situations.
Cool and cordial, but friends.
But friends might be a stretch.
Obviously, still trying to process what happened. This is new for me. I'm still trying to make sense of it, but still trying to act in a more...
So Chelley, again, is talking about how Chris looks so good. He's working out on the other side. And again, you could just tell that is Chelley's type. She wants that man. She wants that man. She says she still does not know how she is going to move. Now we move on to Sierra. She says that she does want it to be she and Nick at this point, but Nick has not explicitly said that he wants to be closed off. So for Sierra, she's not going to go out of her way to talk to Ilan, but she can't get out of her mind how cute it was that he did bring up that C-shaped pancake. And I'm like, Sierra, do not make the mistake that Alondria made by putting your eggs into a basket of a guy who's still kind of Yes, Nick is not moving as mad as Taylor is when it comes to Sierra at this current point, but also at the same time, if he's not making any real indicators that he wants to get closer to locking it in, I don't know. I just don't trust Nick. I just don't trust Nick. That's my reality. Nick, to me, it gives very disingenuous. So we're gonna have to see where that goes. Alondria is talking about how for her, once again, she wants to close that book with Taylor. Once you don't see her worth, she is gone. And all I can say, Alondria, is I hope you are telling the truth, because I just don't really want to see this situation where you and Clark are beefing all week. Leave it alone. Taylor has made it very clear where he has at, and just accept what he said. The guys are talking.
I think she would lock in if I told her I wanted to close things off. But I don't want to pull the move of wanting to close things off just because.
And Taylor is talking about how he felt like choosing Clark was going to get him out of this triangle, but he's still in the triangle. So Ace is like, what do you mean? He's like, well, Alondria is still here. So there's validation right there that Taylor definitely wanted Alondria to go home. Now, a part of it, they ask him, well, Nick and Nick and Ace, they ask Taylor, do you feel like it could possibly work with Alondria? And he's like, well, I do feel like a part of me does feel like maybe there's something there. Obviously, we had a 3-week connection. And he claims in the confessional that he's still open to explore Alondria. But then we proceed to not see him pull her for a chat or talk to her at all. And I'm like, Taylor, why do you keep lying? Why does this man keep lying to everyone, including these guys? Just tell the truth. You don't want to do it with Alondria. You don't want to have something with her. You were fine with her leaving. You even said you wanted to just have peace and quiet here on the island with Clark, and now you're in a whole situation because of that. But again, he's going on and on about how now he's back in this Bermuda Triangle that he doesn't want to be in. And I'm like, Taylor, I am tired of you. Ace talks about Chris, and he claims he doesn't care that Chris is here, but baby, you've been talking about Chris a whole lot. Okay, that 6'7" man is the first threat that Ace has felt in this villa. He claims that having Chris here, though, makes him want to step up and do more so he can show Chelley who's the man. He claims that he knows that if he wanted to lock in, Chelley would be ready to do it in a heartbeat, but he doesn't want to make a decision like that just because her other match is in the villa. Okay, Ace, if you say so. So Elan and Chris are talking. Elan is filling Chris in on the pancake situation in the morning and all of that stuff that Nick was doing. He's going in real hard. Chris says that he still would like to explore with Chelley. Although things are cool with Huda, it's very clear that Chris is also still pretty set on Chelley, and I think that's still his number one no matter what. Iris and Sierra are talking, and
Wait, what? How do you feel about this?
I don't feel a type of way. And like, am I crazy for not feeling a type of way about it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
they have this nasty conversation where Sierra is talking about everything that happened with Nick. She basically implies they did the boom boom again and it went for longer and they did oral and all of that. And I'm like, whatever. So they're talking and Sierra's like, yeah, I mean, Nick and Alondria, they explored and they kissed. And Iris is like, oh, what? Wait, what are you talking about? Iris is like, wait, that doesn't bother you? It doesn't bother you that your best friend and your man were exploring each other? Oh my God, I'd feel some type of way about it. I've already said the same thing 3 times on this video, so I'm not going to say it again, but it's quite clear and obvious why Sierra does not care. Anyway, Chelley and Chris, they also have a little bit of a conversation.
Overwhelming myself. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can only just do what I want to do
Yeah.
and just be honest,
Yeah.
and that's it. So
Yeah. I want to reassure.
So Chris essentially reassures Chelley that he's not going anywhere and that he still really likes her. He says, at this point, if what happened in Casa, I know I need to step it up now that I'm here in the villa. At this point, he does like her a lot and he wants to continue to show her. So I'm like, okay, baby, you got 2 suitors, Chelley. You got Ace and you got Chris. Now you know where I'm at. But anyway, Ace and Taylor, they are also talking, and Ace is pretty frustrated at the fact that Chelley is still torn between 2 people because he sent home Coco. So because Chelley kept her match here, he feels like because he was willing to send home Coco, that should have been a sign to Chelley that she should not be torn between 2 people. Ace, it don't work like that. Because let's not forget that you took half of this game, or half of this whatever. I'm calling it a game because all of y'all are playing a game this season. It took so long for you to even be willing to lock down on Chelley. So let's not pretend like from day one, you haven't done your exploration as well. She also gets to explore. But Ace claims that this once again makes him want to step it up more. He's not intimidated. And I'm like, baby, hey, not Chris getting Ace all in his feelings. Not Ace feeling threatened by 6'7" Chris. It's too much. So Andreina is telling yet another person that she is interested in Pepe. This time she's telling Alondria. And Alondria's like, well, go for it, girl. If you like him, go for it. I'm like, yeah, Andreina, go for it. Child, it seems like Pepe has directly been interested in blondes. Andreina's gorgeous. We'll see. I have no idea. But Chelley and Ace, they finally have a conversation.
So,
on what?
how I've been feeling with, me staying here and you going over there and building a new connection.
And Ace does talk about how it feels some type of way to notice Chelley still being open to other connections when it I guess he's trying to essentially say that he's really just on her. So he asks if she regrets her choice to pair up with him or whatever, to stick with him, and she says no. She asks the same question back, and he also says no. So ultimately, the two of them do decide that it is, you know, still a thing. Now, Chelley does admit, and again, I like this in Chelley. I like the realism, because Chelley's like, look, I'll be honest, like, yes, we are paired up, but we are not locked in. We are not at that point yet. So for me, when I'm thinking about the outside world, and I'm thinking about how things look, I'm wondering how I would integrate into your life. Ace does not give a lot of reassurance. I would not have taken this answer and ran with it personally, but he's like, well, if you were to be my partner in the real world, you would be the priority. And I was like, that's it? We got other people in here talking about home moving plans and stuff. And I'm not saying you have to do that, but I just felt like that answer didn't give to me that Ace is thinking about anything outside of the game. I'm just going to keep it honest. And I feel like Chelley, she seems to have a good head on her, you know, her shoulders, where she is thinking about what Ace is telling her, her heart, and then what is being shown. I just think that I like that Chelley is still open to having another connection, because Ace to me is not giving 100% lockdown. It's not. I'm still not fully buying that if another bombshell comes in that is Ace's type, that he would not turn his head. But that's just me. They kiss it out though, and once again, it feels like they have another conversation where they have another conclusion where they come to some sort of consensus, but it still seems like it's very, very open-ended. So Clark and Taylor once again are having another conversation. Taylor's got his arm around Clark, he goes in for the kiss, and once again, he does not need any form of prompting whatsoever. For Clark, she feels happy that she doesn't have to feel like she needs to censor herself or have a wall up, that she can finally be light and free with him because they are paired together. And overall, the two of them seem like they are doing fine. Taylor is just acting so differently. And again, it's just it's crazy to see sort of the opposite behavior when he's with someone that he's attracted to. Because even when it comes to the physical, Alondria told him, hey, you can do more. Yet he didn't do it. He didn't take it upon himself to do more. He claims he still wants to talk to Alondria. He hasn't. So for me, I don't need any more evidence that he's not into her. But again, there's just so many factors that make it clear where Taylor's head is at. So Chris and Ace. Chris actually pulls Ace for a chat, and he's like, look, man to man, I don't want to be in no ego war. I don't want to be in no nonsense. I'm just letting you know I am interested in Chelley. However, I let her know, hey, if you feel like your heart is on Ace more than me, let me know. I'm not going to be on no jealous stuff. I'm not going to be doing anything. Notice Ace's demeanor. Ace be having a lot of smoke for other people, but he sure didn't play that game with Chris. Ooh, Ace is intimidated by Chris. He had all that mouth for Jeremiah. But baby, Ace is intimidated by Chris. And I love to see I'm not gonna lie, I love to see it. I love to see someone where Ace ain't gonna pull that mess. He ain't gonna pull that mess. It's at the end of the day though, they dap it up. It's all good. And you could tell that Ace is like, oh boy, oh gosh. So they get a text that they are going to be doing the heart rate challenge. Sierra and Nick, they talk on the dock, and Sierra's like, I don't want to see you kissing anybody else. I don't want to. So they agree they're not going to kiss anyone. And then the challenge comes and they kiss. And then we also see Ilan and Alondria plotting how they're going to make Taylor and Sierra's heart rates the highest because they're going to be paired together by default. But anyways, let's get into this heart rate challenge. So they come out couple by couple, which I guess it's because they had so many people. They just had the couples go together, I guess. So first off, we have Iris and TJ. Not gonna lie, these two sucked. It was lame. I don't really have enough to say. It wasn't even hot. Amaya and Zach. Amaya is bouncing up and down on Zach's stuffs. It is going crazy. Zach does make out with Jaden. And then Amaya and Sierra, baby. And when I tell you every single girl kissed Sierra, I was like, whoo. It is high in here. Now, Amaya decides she gonna bounce up on Ace, and I thought it was pretty funny. I liked how Ace and Amaya during this competition. It's late, y'all. I don't usually record at night, but I have an appointment in the morning, so I have to record this at night. She was bouncing all up on him, but I liked how Amaya and Ace, they could play along in this competition. They seemed like they got along. I do like watching these sometimes because it feels like, you know, there's fun. This competition went to spiral, but we'll talk about that later. And then Zach is looking all up on Andreina. So next up, we have Andreina and Brian. Andreina goes in for Chris. I was like, okay. Taylor looks scared when Andreina comes up. This man looked like he didn't know what to do with all that. Brian, though, he goes all up on Huda, and Andreina finally gets that kissing with Pepe. And you know she wants Pepe, so she was loving that kiss. It was going on and on and on and on. Next up, Austin and Jaden. So they do some kind of little acrobatic routine, and I'm like, you know what, these two quirky folk, these two quirky folk, they are made for each other. But Austin decides he gonna play a little bit with Amaya. Olandria goes for... Austin shakes his in Alondria's face, and then Jaden kisses Sierra and says that it was low-key a better kiss than with Nick. And I'm like, hey, that's right. Austin does pick up Chelley and go in. They were both just having fun with it. It was fun. Ace and Chelley. So Ace is a Flintstone. He comes out with this big old weight. I was like, what is that Ace going on? So Chelley goes in for Chris, and you can tell again that the chemistry is there, baby. Chelley, I'm so glad, girl, that you are not automatically just dropping that connection, because I see the chemistry. Sierra and Chelley, woo-hoo, what is this, part 2, part 3? I don't know. It was hot. Ace goes for Iris. I was like, okay. And then Chelley, she doubles back. She spins the block, and she goes to kiss Chris again. And I was like, okay. Ace now tries to kiss Andreina, but I don't know if y'all noticed that she kept dodging it. Like, first he went for the lips, she gave the neck. Then he tried to kiss the lips, and she goes in a little bit, but like, you could tell she was pulling away. Andreina did not want to kiss Ace whatsoever. So Ace and Chelley, they bring Amaya up to the stage, and they go in for a 3-way kiss with her. Okay, I see y'all. Huda and Chris. Huda starts off doing entirely too much again. On her scenes, you could tell they would pull the camera away and we wouldn't actually see what she was doing, because Huda goes in all the way and she does entirely too much. She licks the pickle, then she starts bouncing up and down on Chris, then she gets upside down and starts twerking and has all that, you know, in his face. And Chelley is like, what is you doing? Like, especially because, you know, that's one of my connections. And yes, you guys are technically paired together, but that's not even where it was so bad. So Huda decides she gonna go for Ace. She starts twerking all up on him. She is making out on him. She is bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. When I tell you, Huda was going in for minutes and minutes on end. And it's like, honestly, at this point, like, the rest of the makeout session was already over because Chris was making out with Chelley and they had been long done, and Huda just kept going, and then she was doing a lot. So Shelley's like, you know what, you took it too far. Like, you took it too far. And Huda could definitely tell she was mad. Everybody else was also like, it's too far. It's too far. And you know what? I said this in a previous video. The rules are not the same for Huda. I do not care. You did not let anybody look in Jeremiah's direction. No one could talk to him, look at him, touch him, kiss him, nothing. Nobody could engage with Jeremiah in any capacity when you were with him. So I don't want to hear it. The rules is not the same for you. And at this point in the competition, people are getting a little bit more serious. So for you to be doing all of that and be all over people and expect that, oh, it's just a game, it's just a competition, I'm just having fun. No, you know, I was with Chelley. I was with Chelley because the rules is not the same for Huda. Like I said, I told y'all, don't think I forgot about Huda. Just because they thought as producers that, oh, we're not going to put her on these episodes that much, we're going to just kind of have her in the background, that we would forget what happened. Oh, I did not forget what happened with Huda. So, ooh, baby. So Huda's like, are you mad at me? And Chelley's like, we'll talk later. So Pepe and Grayson go. Pepe kisses Sierra. Grayson flips into Pepe's arms at the end. They do like this really cool flip thing. Nick is wondering in the confessional why every girl is skipping him. Because Nick, nobody don't want to kiss you. No one's interested in you except Sierra. So Sierra and Nick, it's their turn. They go in on Iris. They bring Iris over. Sierra says, Iris is my girl, so I'm cool with this. I'm like, okay. So Nick decides he's going to stick his fingers in Huda's mouth. They pass this rose between their mouths together. Nick Nick licks Alondria's toes, and even Alondria's like, the fuck? And everybody's like, whoa, does Nick got a foot fetish? So Sierra and Nick both bring Alondria up, and they both go in on her toes, and then they go in for a three-way kiss. And you could just tell Alondria was absolutely horrified. Alondria did not like this whatsoever, but okay. So next up, we have Ilan and Alondria, who are together by default because they're both single. So Alondria decides she's going to bounce up on TJ, and TJ's like, I was just looking the whole time. Now, Ilan licks Huda up and down again, child. They ain't even show. Alondria decides she gonna twerk in Brian's face, and Alondria also kisses Andreina, and I was like, okay, spicy. And Andreina says it was hot in the confessional. So Alondria picks Taylor, and Ilan picks Sierra, as they talked about beforehand, and they both just go in and kiss them. Now Nick is jealous. Nicky Wicky is jealous. He says, I don't like that at all. You know how close that me and Sierra are. So to know how we do that, I don't fuck with him at all. I don't F with him. I'm like, jealous. Ilan does go in though. He is grinding up on Sierra. I was like, oh. Nick is so mad because everybody at this point should know what he and Sierra have. I'm like, okay, Nick, miss me with it. I don't care. Nick's another one where, baby, the rules ain't the same. Because Nick be moving all kind of mad and all kind of messy in this villa. So, baby, the rules ain't the same for you either. So Clark and Taylor. Now, Taylor does go a little bit for Alondria, but he doesn't kiss her that much. And so Alondria in the confessional, she's like, I know he kept it cute out of respect for Clark. I know that. I'm like, girl, no, he kept it cute because he don't like you. When will you understand? Now, Clark decides that she gonna make out with Sierra. She loved the kiss. Sierra said she would do it again. And they tease Ace by twerking with Chelley. Taylor's just messing with Ace, and he's twerking with Chelley, but he was just trying to mess around with her, so it was pretty funny. So let's find out who made whose heart rates rise the most. We got like 20 people, so let's get into it. Iris's heart rate was raised the most by Nick. Amaya's was Pepe. Andreina was Pepe. Jaden's was Nick. Chelley's was Chris. Okay. Huda was Ilan, Grayson was Nick, Sierra was Ilan, Alondria was Chris, and Clark was Ace. So do with that what you guys want, okay? I have my little but y'all take that info and do what you want. Let's get on to the guys. So TJ's was raised most by Grayson, Zach was raised by Sierra, Brian was raised by Sierra, Austin was raised most by Amaya, Chris was raised most by Chelley, Pepe, Andreina. Nick was raised by Iris. I was like, okay. Ilan was raised by Sierra. Taylor's was raised by Alondria. I was like, yeah, okay. And Ace was raised the most by Huda. And at this point, Chelley is fuming. She cannot hide her facial expressions, and she lets us know in the confessional she can't hide her expressions because, again, that's supposed to be her girl, and her girl was bouncing all up on Ace, doing the absolute most, even though, again, when it was her time, no one could talk to her man whatsoever. So of course Ace's heart rate is going to be raised the most by Huda. She just felt like Huda was doing too much, and honestly, I do too. We've been talking about all season how Huda goes in so hard in these competitions. It's like, girl, we get it. Like, what are you doing? It doesn't make any sense to me. So the couple who raised heart rates the most was Sierra and Nick. Post-game, Andreina, Amaya, and Huda are talking.
Like after I went. Okay. And I did the same thing to all of them. So it wasn't anything personal, but I was just like, damn.
And Huda's like, oh my God, Chelley is mad at me. Chelley is really mad at me. And they're like, wait, really? And she's like, yeah, I tried to ask her during the game, but she said we'll talk later. And I just don't understand. And I'm like, here we go again with Huda trying to villain. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. She says, look, it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. It was just a game. So I really don't understand. She's like, I don't get it. I barely did anything in challenges, but the second I do something in a challenge, it's a problem. And I'm like, oh, Huda, don't you start. Don't you start. Talk about the second you do something in a challenge, it's a problem. Girl, you act like this in every challenge. And again, it does not matter because when anyone did something to Jeremiah, it was, well, you should know how close we are. You should know how deep our connection is. Don't start with me. I told y'all I was going to have it for Huda again this season because I still don't like Huda in the show. In the show, I don't like her. before y'all come in the So the other girls are talking.
Of respect, like that's there, especially for her being the type of person who tried to set all these boundaries when it came to Jeremiah and this and that. You didn't return none of that favor whatsoever.
And Chelley is like, look, I don't understand why Huda had to do all of that. I'm not gonna lie, you supposed to be my girl, you doing the most. And it's not that I feel like she wants my man. That's not the reason, it's the respect. Because when she had her connection, nobody could talk to him. So stop saying that you're doing all of this for me and you care about me, when in reality, you're doing all of this stuff for yourself. And I was like, ooh, clock it. I love that Chelley said that, because the reality is that's what it is. And Chelley continues on and says, look, I'm gonna be honest. All of this behavior, it's become a little bit too much for me. And I'm getting to a point where I realize this may not be the kind of friend for me. And I was like, clock it, because I'm so tired of the double standards with Huda. Huda can be messy, moving mad with everybody's people, but nobody, and I mean nobody, could talk to her man. So I'm finally glad that Chelley is willing to be the one that's fed up. I feel like Chelley has been holding it in for the whole season, and she's like, I am tired of the mess. And you know what? So am I, Chelley. So am I. So Andreina joins the girls and she basically fills them in on what Huda was saying. She's like, yeah, Huda pulled me and wanted to talk about this. But Andreina is basically saying that Huda says, oh, why is it when I do something in a challenge, it's a problem? They're talking a lot about how, and you can tell that Chelley does feel pretty hurt by the situation, because she's like, look, like, of course Ace's heart rate is going to be raised the most because she was doing so much. And again, I think it's a pattern of behavior. Because I think that's the reality, is that everybody had to give Huda a special treatment. But now all of a sudden when it's her, she's playing victim, like people are coming at her. What did she do to Alondria early season? Let's not forget. Alondria told her, hey, calm it down. What did she do? Cry and act like Alondria yelled at her. Now it's, oh, when I do something in a challenge, it's a problem. All she does is villainize these women, and I'm tired. I'm tired of it. Don't be villainizing Chelley. When in reality, you had all these rules and regulations for everybody else. What if another woman in this villa wanted to talk to Jeremiah? We would never know, because nobody got that opportunity. So at this point, you know, they kind of leave off like, and Chelley's kind of like, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I just don't think that that's the friend for me. And we got Huda over there. I think she's still talking to Iris, being like, oh my gosh, she's really mad. And we see her just standing at the counter by herself. So anyway, we gonna see what happens tomorrow, because baby, this is getting real spicy and real messy. And I am totally here for the girl saying, let's get Huda off the island, because I still don't want her here. And I'm still not here for the redemption arc. So anyways, if you made it to this point of the video, that means you liked the video. So I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It helps to get the videos out there, and it inspires me to keep creating. Thank you guys so much for supporting the content and being here throughout the season. I really appreciate it. We've hit some subscriber milestones. We've had a lot of great conversations throughout the season. And yeah, I've had such a good time here with y'all. The good, the bad, the ugly. We've all had a good time no matter what. So thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.